The minute she reached the gate and tried to open it, she heard the creeping sound of the piles coming closer and closer to her. Hi, and welcome back to another episode of SYWK Podcast, where you can find everything related to the paranormal. Did you check out my previous episode where I spoke about the demonic case of Arne Johnson, the true story behind the Conjuring movie? If you haven't, then please go check it out. The link is in the description. For sure you're going to enjoy it. And if you do, you know what to do, my friend. Support my work by liking, sharing, and mainly subscribing to my channel. Now coming back for this episode. For people who are following my work, they know that I fact check before uploading an episode, and especially if someone has shared their ghost experience. The story what I will be narrating for today's episode is true, and I believe this story because a very good friend Roxanne shared her experience. So I know it's not going to be over the top, but everything has a logical explanation. So stick till the end to know if this is really a ghost experience or was it just in her head. You will understand everything at the end of the episode. So now, without wasting any time, let's get started. Chalo ana. In the year 2015, a quiet, secluded, independent hostel located in the cantonment area of Pune camp with over 40 girls in 7 rooms staying from different states of India. This story is about Ruchika, Amanda and Asma, who then lived in the girls' hostel during their college years. This incident happened during the summer break of 2015, and not many of the girls were in the hostel during that time of the year. The girls' hostel had 7 rooms in total, with 5 to 6 girls sharing one room. The hostel was constructed in such a way that 2 rooms were at the main entrance and 5 rooms were facing the backside of the property. Ruchika, Amanda and Asma lived in a room that was facing the backside of the property. To make things easier, the story revolves around the 5 backside rooms of the hostel. All 3 girls currently stayed in room number 1. The rooms were one after another with a long corridor which ends at room number 5. One evening, they had plans to celebrate a friend's birthday in room number 3. Asma refused to join the party since she does not drink alcohol and wanted to rest that night. Meanwhile, Ruchika and Amanda decides to go for the birthday celebration. Alone in room number 1, Asma goes to bed by 10 p.m. Meanwhile, everyone is partying in room number 3. Now, it's around 2:30 a.m. and Asma is fast asleep. She does not realize that Ruchika and Amanda are back in the room completely drunk. They pass out the minute they hit the bed. Asma is in deep sleep and started dreaming that her summer break was over and one of her lectures had suddenly shifted to the terrace of the hostel. As the period went on, it started getting dark pretty soon, and one by one all her classmates headed home. Since she stayed in the hostel itself, she walked down the stairs and went towards her room, but suddenly noticed something from the corner of her eye. At the far end of the corridor, near room number 5, where generally the lights are always off and no one stays there because of unknown reasons, stood a lady in white Bengali sari with a giant thick red bindi and red bangles on her wrist. Asma, seeing this, got terrified and tried to unlock her room door, but it wouldn't open. Suddenly, candles started lighting up around the Bengali lady. Asma continued her struggle to open her door, but it just wouldn't open at all. And then things started getting more creepier. lit candles suddenly started appearing one by one in the corridor, stopping at Asma. Asma starts to run towards the main gate to get away from the lady. But as she keeps running, the lit candles kept appearing. The minute she reached the gate and tried to open it, she heard the creeping sound of the piles coming closer and closer to her. And then she felt like someone was heavily breathing down her neck. And then suddenly, she felt a hand over her shoulder slowly turning her around. And to her shock, it was the Bengali lady with a creepy smile.
क्यों भाग रहे हो?
Asma wakes up from her sleep with a start, her eyes opening in front of her to see the same Bengali lady standing over Ruchika's bed. Asma screams and wakes up Ruchika and Amanda, who were fast asleep on their beds. They rush to Asma's bed to check on her, but she could not speak at all. In complete panic, pointing towards Ruchika's bed.
She's there, she's there. मैंने देखा उसको.
Ruchika and Amanda assume that Asma had a bad dream and tried to calm her down. But Asma was in a complete shock and told them not to go towards Ruchika's bed. But there is a saying, curiosity is the mother of invention. Immediately, Ruchika went near her bed to convince Asma that there was no one in the room. But she finds something strange. There was a huge wet spot on the floor. And that was the time they understood something is not right. Not knowing what to do, they called a fellow roommate, Roxanne, who was still in the city but stayed out for that night. When Roxanne arrives at the hostel, she opens the door and finds it wet. Why is the door handle so wet and what happened? She asked upon entering. After they explained the horrifying experience with Asma, they all were astonished, wondering what happened and why it happened. This story is still a mystery, and to date, they don't know if this is a case of paranormal or was it a bad dream. How did you like the story? And how did you enjoy my narration? Please comment below and give me your feedback. Now, coming to the main and important part of this episode. Did all the girls, especially Asma, experience something supernatural? According to me, maybe. The story might be true because it sounds quite genuine. But what I feel is Asma must have watched a horror movie or read something related to the paranormal, and that's why she got a bad dream. It's a proven fact that 95% of such cases are not really connected to ghosts or spirits. Sometimes it's just our head which plays all these tricks. See, I'm not saying ghosts and demons does not exist. It may be or maybe not. That's up to you to decide. All I'm trying to say is that not everything is related and connected to the paranormal. She must have had a bad dream. She must have read a book. She must have watched a movie. And that is why she felt that she experienced something paranormal. But there is still something unexplained in Asma's story, which is the wet floor and the door handle. Sometimes there are some things which cannot be answered. So I leave it up to you guys. What do you feel? Is this a true story or just a bad dream? I'll be waiting for your feedback. Either comment below or DM me on Instagram. Also, I will be discussing about this case on my first ever Clubhouse live session, which will be on the 1st of February. So do join me. The link is in the description. Thanks for listening and stay tuned until my next episode. Ciao.